Hi guys, today I'm going to show you a fun art exercise you can do that's about reassembling an artwork that you've taken apart. So the word assemble means to put pieces together. Disassemble means to take something apart and put it into pieces. So you take something whole and take it apart. So reassembling means you've taken something apart and you're going to put it back together. So our project today is going to be drawing a picture and then taking it apart with scissors, so cutting it, we're gonna need scissors for this, and then reassembling it by putting it back together, but you're putting it back together wrong. You're not gonna put the pieces back together so the picture looks the same as before. You're gonna turn the pieces, put them in different spots, and reassemble it in a different way. Doing this kind of project can be really fun because it's kind of abstract, meaning you're making a picture that doesn't look like anything. And for some people, abstract art is really hard to do. This is a good way to practice doing abstract art without having to think too hard about it, and you might turn out with something that you're really surprised by. So you want to make sure you have a paper. I will show you how to cut it into a square, although you don't need to. Get your coloring supplies and make sure you have a scissors, and we can get started. Alright, so one of the first things that you can do is you can cut your paper to be a square. If you like how this one is kind of even, like the four shapes are the same size, then I'll show you how to cut it into a square. It's not necessary, it looks fine either way. But you're going to take one corner of your paper and you're gonna kind of hold down the other side with your fingers. And your goal is to fold this over until this top edge lines up perfectly with the side. So that's kind of why you need to hold it down on the other side. So see the top edge of the paper lined up with the side. I'm going to press in the folds, and then I cut off this extra rectangle that's hanging off. And when I open it, I have a perfect square. And I'm just gonna kind of press that fold back down so that my paper is more flat. All right, so with this project, again, this is abstract art. It's not meant to look like anything. And remember that you are going to cut this up, so don't do anything that takes you a super long time or that you get super attached to. I'm gonna just make a design that I think looks cool. So I think I'm gonna do a heart in the middle. And if it's not perfectly in the middle, your design doesn't matter, because remember, we're cutting it up. And then I'm just gonna think of like more shapes that I could add around it. I'm gonna do some diagonal lines around it. And I'm trying to make my pattern symmetrical, so it's the same on both sides. However, your pattern does not need to be symmetrical. You can really do anything you want. Just think kind of simple shapes and lines, and don't take too much time, at least not the first time around, because you might not want to cut it up then when you're all done. So I'm just going to keep going around adding lines and shapes. Okay, I think that looks pretty good for now. Now what I want to do is I want to color the whole thing in however I want. You can use any supplies for this. Again, just whatever you feel like. All right, so I'm all done coloring it in now, and now I'm going to be cutting it up so I can see what different patterns I can make. Whether you kept your paper a rectangle or a square, one thing I recommend doing to make sure all your pieces are the same size is to fold it in half. And make sure you really crease the fold in because you need that line to help you cut. And then fold it in half a second time. If you cut your paper into a square when you fold it in half twice, you'll end up with another square. If it was still a rectangle, you'll just get a smaller rectangle. Then open it up, and then you can look at the folds, and those are the lines you want to cut on. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully cut on my folds as straight as I can. All right, and now I get to play around with it. So think of it like a puzzle, except you're putting it together wrong instead of trying to put it together the right way. So you can turn, like I know this one was originally like this. I could try turning it this way. I'm just putting back the pieces in a way that they don't fit together correctly, just to see what kind of pattern I get. So there's one, that's kind of cool. Now I'm gonna try again. There's another one, and we'll do one more. All right, so now you kind of get the idea. It's really just to play around with. That's why I called it an art exercise. It's just kind of a way to get your brain working and also have you practice making abstract art, because abstract art is a lot of fun, but some people do struggle coming up with ideas for it. So you guys have fun kind of playing around with yours. If you liked it and you want to make more, you can do that. You could try it with just a drawing and no color. And if you really like how it turned out, you can actually glue it to another piece of paper like I did on this one, and then you can keep it, you know, the way that you want it to be forever. So just have fun playing around and doing your art exercise. Well guys, I hope you had fun reassembling your art project that you disassembled to then put that together the wrong way. I think it's just a fun exercise. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. It doesn't have to be too serious, and it's kind of cool to see what you turn up with. I would love to see what you did, so you can send me a picture of it. But I will see you guys next time for our next video. Bye!